hunger a barrier to learning? I'm Jill Horner. This is Comcast Newsmakers. With me is Cecilia Zalkind. She is Executive Director of Advocates for Children of New Jersey. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Before we get into some of the issues that you work to address, talk to us a little bit about your organization itself. You advocate on behalf of children throughout the state.
Yes, ACNJ is a child advocacy organization, multi-issue. We're located in Newark, but we have statewide influence. We've been in existence since 1978, but have roots in Newark back to the 1850s. And our goal is to advocate for the well-being of children and families.
You also participate in a national survey each year, Kids Count. It's about the well-being of kids. Talk to us a little bit about what you're finding when it comes to poverty and children, and then we'll get into some of the issues you're working to address.
Well, we do publish an annual report on well-being of children across a number of indicators: health, education, child welfare, and economics. And what we've seen for the last 5 years, actually even before the economic downturn, but certainly worsened since then, is growing child poverty. Not only in our urban areas where people tend to think child poverty is located, but in our rural counties, and also the last 2 years growing child poverty in the suburbs.
So we're talking about an issue that touches people across the state, regardless of where we live. Let's get into some of the things that you're working to address. You're working to address the hunger issue with children through participation in a school breakfast program, not just enrollment, but actual participation.
That's correct. You know, when we look at child poverty and how do we overcome it, you know, there are some long-term solutions and there are some immediate things that can be done. Probably the most effective and the easiest to do is to make sure that kids have a healthy breakfast when they start school. And lots of research has indicated that school breakfast helps kids pay attention in class. They don't get tired in mid-morning. Their behavior is better, fewer visits to the nurse. And actually, New Jersey is among the worst states in the country for serving eligible children breakfast. We're great on making sure they get school lunch, but not so great on school breakfast.
So even though a child may be enrolled in a school breakfast program, they're not necessarily getting that breakfast?
That's correct. Because what we found is it's not a question of enrollment or eligibility. If you're enrolled in school lunch, you're eligible for school breakfast. It comes down to where and when breakfast is served. You know, a school that serves breakfast before the bell in a central location like a cafeteria is not very accessible for kids who may come into school on buses, walk to school, parents drop them off at different times. Districts that are succeeding are districts that serve breakfast after the bell in the classroom. And we've seen great examples across the state where districts are doing that.
And that's just one example of what you are working on when it comes to kids. You're also talking about high quality preschool. Are children in New Jersey gaining access to a high-quality early childhood education?
Some are, and I think that's the issue. When you look at long-term solutions to poverty, you want to make sure that kids get a great education and have an opportunity to be self-sufficient adults. New Jersey actually has one of the best preschool programs in the country with proven results. But it doesn't serve all kids. Right now, the state reaches about 50,000 children, 3- and 4-year-olds, in a small number of school districts, the most impoverished districts in the state. There was a plan in 2008 to expand preschool to about 35,000 more children who live in other communities but meet that criteria of low income. It was never funded. For us, this is a time to invest in preschool. If we talk about school reform, that's the best way to reform education.
And just a few seconds left, Seal, but you are also working on issues related to healthcare and a variety of other things that touch kids' lives.
That's right. That's correct. We want to make sure that kids have access to the programs that can help them.
Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you.
We've been talking with Cecilia Zalkind, Executive Director of Advocates for Children of New Jersey. I'm Jill Horner.